Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. And if you skipped last week's edition of the Weekly, don't worry. We're going to have you covered in about 5 or 6 minutes. And we're going to catch you up on suitcase wars, Ferrari dropping the ball, teen summer jobs are actually getting pretty strange out there. Barnes & Noble is actually on a comeback, believe it or not. And Mr. Rogers, well, he's returning to your mailbox.
Let's get into it.
First up, back on the blog, Luigi dropped another article. Lou, you write these articles every week, but this one, I gotta tell you, I really liked. Intellectual property to fund the future of your business growth. It actually struck a couple chords with me, and we were able to get some people funded just off their IP. Jump into it, Lou.
Not every valuable business asset comes with wheels, walls, or a serial number, Matthew. Sometimes it's software, licensing rights, patents, trademarks, copyrighted material, or in this case, a video game catalog. The short version, a video game publisher needed capital for new development, and its existing IP helped change the funding conversation. That's leverage, Matthew, using what the business already built to help fund what comes next. Go check that one out on the Credit Bank blog.
Next up, the luggage wars officially hit the carousel. Listen, Lou, I don't know about you, but I've never understood buying expensive luggage. Shit just gets thrown around anyway.
Apparently, a lot of people disagree with you, buddy. Suitcase brand Away helped kick off the modern DTC suitcase boom by making bags that were cheaper than Rimowa and Tumi, but prettier than Samsonite. 4 years later, every founder with a zipper supplier and a mood board apparently wanted in. Now you've got Baze, July, Cassitify, Samsonite, Tumi, Rimowa, everyone else fighting for overhead bin real estate. Apparently, even your carry-on needs a brand strategy now.
Oh, speaking of expensive identity problems, Ferrari dropped the ball big time. They're going electric. They released their new EV called the Luce, and it starts around small ticket price of $640,000, but it does go 0 to 60 in under 2.5 seconds, has a top speed of 190 miles per hour. So yeah, it does actually move, but Ferrari loyalists are not excited. Neither is the internet. But the one that surprised me the most was one of the founders of Ferrari came out and said, and I quote, "At least we have something the Chinese won't try to copy this time."
Matthew, apparently suicide rates have increased in Modena, Italy over the last week or so. There's another side to this coin, Matthew, and I've given this one a little bit of thought. The Ferrari driver of 2040 is 14 years old today. I think today's youth does not have the same testosterone-driven speed fanaticism that our generation has. So maybe this is just Ferrari's way of hedging their bet and not wanting to become a BlackBerry or Kodak. Maybe.
No, I think they're just, it has to do with all these stupid emission rules in the EU, is really what it comes down to. Look, 98% of people that drive Ferraris are, number one, male, and the average age is 51 years old. I don't really think they're caring about 14-year-olds right now. They're making a huge brand mistake, just like Cracker Barrel, just like, Bud Light.
I think the Tifosi are really upset because not only is it EV, it's a sedan, it's a 5-seater, and it's not hyper masculine. I think the Luce is just a little bit too far removed for the typical Tifoso to agree with. But time will tell.
Maybe they're looking at the suburban housewife market. Who knows?
640,000, it's appealable to everyone. Next up, teen summer jobs are getting harder to find. Employers are expected to hire 790,000 teens for May, June, and July. That's down from last summer and way down from 2024. Some jobs are getting replaced by automation. Some are going to older workers, delaying retirement, and some are going to seasonal international workers. The bright side? Lifeguard postings are up 78%. So if you can swim, blow a whistle, and yell walk like you mean it, congratulations. You have marketable skills this summer.
This is actually an interesting one, and I wouldn't expect to say this in 2026. However, about 3 weeks ago, me and my wife, we passed a Barnes & Noble. Who knew they were still around? Anyway, they were back in the news for a comeback story about book pyramids. Wild concept, letting people pick the books in the store for people who actually shop in the store. I wonder how many focus groups they needed for that one.
I like this story, Matt. It brings back to the old school days of merchandising, retail expertise, and foot traffic. Know your client. Then in the Money Minute, Matt had a piece in Forbes about small business lending. The point is simple. Getting approved is not always the hard part anymore. Getting approved for the right structure is where owners need to pay attention. The payment, the term, timing, the repayment schedule, all of it matters once the money lands. A lender saying yes feels nice. A bad structure feels expensive. And now for some quick hits from around the web.
Lou, what if I told you that if you bought a house, you're going to have a surprise guest as a non-negotiable part of the package? Well, that's exactly what happened in Northeast England. In a suburban garden, there was a turtle living there for decades. It survived wars, outlasted multiple homeowners, and guess what? Now it actually transfers as part of the property, which honestly sounds a lot better as a closing surprise rather than having a neighbor that blasts his radio at 6 a.m., black mold, or bad wiring.
Next up, Michigan seniors rolled into school for Tractor Day in tractors, ATVs, golf carts, and one restored 1940 Farmall. It does not get much more American than graduation, diesel, catered lunch, and a 25-mile-per-hour commute.
And finally, the United States Post Office did something good. Did I actually say that? Did those words come out of my mouth? But this time, it's revolving around America's 250th anniversary. You know, right now we have the World Cup about to start, but then we're going to have the 250th anniversary of America, all with jets, flyovers, cage fighting at the White House. And I didn't see this one, Lou. Mr. Rogers will be back on the stamps because that is what America voted for.
Rumor has it, Mr. Rogers was a Knicks fan. Go Knicks. All right, folks, that's the week. Go read the full edition of the weekly over on Substack and subscribe on YouTube if you want more of these luscious recaps every Monday. See you next time.